The Chinese chef and the French chef were going to compete in knife skills on the street. First, it was the French chef's turn. Paulo lightly sliced the fish in half and then gently brushed his finger along the fish's body to determine the location of the bones. He then precisely pulled out all the bones with tweezers. Next, it was the Chinese chef's turn. Fong quickly cut the fish into blocks with even force and then lightly sliced along the fish skin, separating the skin and flesh perfectly. He shook it again until the fish meat separated into distinct blocks with the fish skin intact. Paulo didn't expect that the Chinese chef's knife skills could be so divine. He finally realized that he had prejudices against Chinese cuisine. To apologize, he sent an invitation to Fong, inviting him to their restaurant for a meal. Fong happily agreed, wanting to understand why Western cuisine was so unique. Upon arrival at the restaurant, they ordered the signature dishes, but when the dishes were served, they were both stunned to find that it was a plate of omelette. However, after tasting it, they realized that it was not an omelette at all, but a dessert made from a mixture of mango, passion fruit, rum, and coconut milk. The second dish was even more mysterious. It looked like a pot of plants, but after pouring water, the plants grew rapidly. It turned out to be called a growth salad, and all the ingredients used in it were edible. However, Fong was not impressed. Instead, he angrily took the pot and walked towards the kitchen. He told Paulo that cooking was not magic, and he wanted to show this Michelin-starred French chef what real dishes looked like. He cut the green onions, deep-fried them in high heat, then cut a piece of Wagyu beef into thick slices. He poured hot oil on the plate and stir-fried the beef and green onions together. He cooked the beef until it was tender and then took it off the heat. A dish of green onion beef was ready. Paulo was not to be outdone. He adopted the classic Western cooking method, grilling the beef over an open flame until it was cooked to a perfect rare. He then cut it into blocks and placed them on a plate. He smoked the beef with apple wood, and when it entered the mouth, it was tender and fragrant with a lingering aroma. Fong took a sniff of the beef cooked by Paulo and indeed found it special. He had nothing to say and turned to leave. Later, Paulo also tried Feng's beef. It was tender, juicy, and filled with the aroma of green onions. The two were evenly matched. They agreed to compete in a real chef competition to determine the winner.